Yep, that's good.
I think you mentioned the Nature Boys.
Yep, so this is star drag versus lever drag.
You gotta show the star, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you know what? You hold this one. Oh, no, right now.
Hey man, stop taking my rule.
Strike! Alright, let's talk about drags, man. Like it's the drag systems. I think that's what they call it, drag systems, right?
That's correct.
Star drag and lever drags. Now, Gab and Will has previously explained this to me.
Yep.
I've got no clue, man. I didn't get it. So, because the overhead I've got, which is the what do I have? I've got the Speedmaster, I think it was, the Shimano Speedmaster. I've got the TLD. You set it, and then you got the lever, right?
That's correct.
So walk us through with the star drags and the lever drags. What's the difference, man?
So we'll start off with the star drags, which is more common.
Star drag is common.
It's more common on the market, yeah. So you'll see more variations of the star drags, especially for jigging reels. Sorry, I mind you, because it's for boat fishing, right? So I'm going to be speaking in terms of reels on the market which are more suitable for jigging.
Right.
Obviously, for land-based game fishing, I would say 9 out of 10 reels, or almost every single reel, is designed as a lever drag reel. For the pure power, but that's something that I'll explain.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, so we'll touch on the star drags. The star drags, much like the Saltiga 15s, the Daiwa 𝓪 LJs, the ICs, and also the Shimano Offshore Jiggers. The star drags, they're much easier to use, first of all.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because with the lever drag, you have to pretty much set your drag every time you, so every time you hook or every time you free spool. Yeah. With the star drag, it's just one button.
Right.
Yeah, so you just click it into free spool.
Right.
Once you're done dropping the jig, you don't have to flick it back up. You can just turn the handle, just crank it, and it clicks into strike mode.
Right.
So very simple to use.
On a spinning, what's the equivalent on the spinning? They've got, those ones with the, what do they call it?
Oh, well, the bait runners?
Yeah, the bait runners.
Yeah.
Is it similar to that?
Oh, actually, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, because you set it, you set the drag.
That's correct.
You open that up, so it opens up the, what do you call it? The spool.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you hook up, you switch on the
bait runner.
The bait runner lever, whatever you call it. The switch. Then you fight it, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of similar? Or?
Look, essentially, in theory, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you relate to normal spinning reel as well, it's virtually the same as just opening the bail and just letting the line go.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Whereas if you if you do the lever, you've got to put it all the way off.
Yep.
I get you.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah, now you get it? Yeah. So look, I wouldn't say it's a real game changer. However, it's just much more convenient. And for the average fisher, because with the star drags, so this little star mechanism, that's pretty much your drag.
Okay.
Yeah, on the overheads.
Set it.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So much like
So what's this thing here?
So when you free spool, that's the tension.
That's got a tension
as well. Yeah.
So similar to the Shimano that too, but that one's like a knob.
Yep.
Whereas the Shimano one has like a lever.
The 4 lever. Yep. However, the standard Offshore Jigger doesn't have the 4 lever. That mode's got the 4 lever because it's the F custom.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So these two are star drags.
They're star drags. Okay. This is also the star drag.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it now. I get what you mean. All right. Well, any other benefits? Is that it?
Yeah. Look, it's just much more convenient. It's easy to fish with.
Yeah.
It's easy to set your drag because you don't have to set your drag every time you drop. Yeah. And then you click into strike mode as well.
Right.
Also, I just find that there's more options on the market at an affordable price in the star drag range. From the lever drag series, unless you go something like a Stereo Ocean Mark, which can cost you $1,000 upwards, the only reels on the markets that you'll find suitable for jigging with the lever drag will be the Saltiga LD series, which is the lever drag series, and the next one is probably the Shimano Offshore Jigging LD.
Okay.
But that's also $1,000.
So the LDs are more expensive?
In the Shimano's, yes.
In the Daiwas?
In the Daiwas, these are actually cheaper.
Oh, because it's old. That's an older model.
It's not essentially an older model. It's just a different model. Right. Yes, it's a different series. However, in the 𝓤𝓷𝓳𝓪 series, we've got models cheaper than this, such as the Daiwa 𝓤𝓫𝓾. The 𝓤𝓫 TW is, I think they're around maybe 400 or 500.
Right.
It's just that obviously I couldn't go through each single reel. However, yeah. However, there is a cheaper option.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, Gab. Let's go through spinning reels, man, and the different. What is it? The
gear ratios.
Gear ratios, yeah, for spinning reels. Again, I'm not really too familiar with this. All I know is fast and slow.
Yep.
But walk us through, man. Walk us through the differences.
So obviously, like in terms of the sizes wise, you can pretty much jig from like a small, medium, or large reel. Right. Just depends on the setup. Just depends on where you're jigging, what you're chasing. Yeah, pretty much. For small size reels, let's say under like a 5,000 size, we generally recommend a higher gear ratio. So whether that be an HG or like a high gear.
For a smaller
For a smaller reel. Okay. Generally, it's not always the case, but it just makes it a little bit easier to jig. So
6,000, you reckon about?
No, so even under 6,000, I'm just referring it more to, let's say, more lighter jigs. Okay. So jigs which are lighter or more shallow water jigging. Right. The only reason being is with the smaller reels, because obviously the amount of line that they reel in per wind is much smaller, which will often affect your rhythm of jigging. So for some people who don't need that extra line retrieval per wind, you can obviously opt for a 𝓤𝓷𝓳𝓪 model, which is fine, because at the end of the day, it's going to give you more power and torque when you're jigging. However, let's say if you do have, let's say if you want to run like more of a combination style jigging, which we'll touch on later, or any type of faster motion jigging, like any fast jigging, which requires you to pick up more slack per wind for the small reels, then we generally recommend going a little bit of a faster gear ratio. Like you don't have to, as long as the jigs are lightweight. If the jigs are heavier, or if you're fishing deep water, it's highly recommended that you steer your gear more towards the slower, or anything which is like a PG or like a 𝓤𝓷𝓪 model.
So the PG model, more torque, more for the heavier jigs.
Generally, yes.
Generally speaking, and then the lighter jigs, the lighter setups. Go for the faster.
Go for the faster.
Okay. So what about the number? You know, there's a number system that they've got with the gearing.
Yep.
What does that mean? Like that first set of numbers, second and third.
Yeah.
You know, can you explain to us what that is?
Yeah. So pretty much the gear ratio. So just on average, let's say like a low gear could range anywhere from like 4.9 to 5.2. So the first two digits, so let's say like a 5.1, 4.2, that pretty much just details how many times the actual rotor spins per wind. Yeah, so you'll notice that the number is always, let's say like a 5.3 to 1. So the last number will always be a 1 because it's per wind crank, correct?
Okay. Yeah. So all right, so if it's 5.1, it means per crank, per wind, per rotation, you get 5 times.
The rotor spins 5 times.
The rotor spins 5 times.
That's correct. Yes, the handle only spins once, regardless. So all gear ratios are based on that ratio, where it ends in 1. However, the first number, like I said, so 4.9, which is normally a low gear or power gear model. That's pretty much how many times the rotor spins.
Oh, and for fast?
Fast is generally 5.7. And an extra high or extra high gear, which is XG for Shimano, generally is a 6.2.
Okay.
So that's why, like I said, for the small stuff, I guess the slightly highers, like it doesn't harm it, as long as the jigs are light. That way it doesn't strain the reel.
Okay. Is there any other call-outs that you want to talk about when it comes to the gear?
The gears. So let's say in the case that you're jigging like deep waters. But obviously this is for spinning reels. Let's say if you're going to fish like the 𝓵𝓾 or 𝓵𝓪, which are popular jigging spots of Sydney, where you're jigging anywhere between let's say 80 to 120 meters. I would highly recommend using a low gear or a power gear model as opposed to like a high gear. The high gear is great as like a versatile. Yes, you can still use it. However, it's just going to be a bit more straining on the angler. If you've got a larger size reel, let's say like a 𝓤𝓪 or Saltiga in the 14,000 extra high, I will highly recommend not using that. Just because, first of all, you're going to lose a little bit of power and torque through the gears because it's a faster gear ratio.
Yeah.
Second thing is because of the line retrieval, it's going to pick up so much line at once that it may make your jigging, it may put you off rhythm when you're jigging.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, so stick more towards the lower gear reels.
Especially for the deeper water.
Deep waters, any heavy jigging. You can get away with the high, but it's generally not recommended.
It's weird.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be struggling. Yeah, unless you're Hans. And you bench 200, then you'll be all right.
We were using the extra high gear.
Oh, is this Indonesia? Yeah, how was it?
It was weird, like we're just pumping hard, like.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like Hans was hooking up. I don't know what it was. I wasn't really hooking up much. I had a slower rod. So I had the slow pitch rod, the Ocean's Legacy. But yeah, it didn't really feel right with that reel. So I might have to sort that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry. That's something that we'll fix during the next trip.
Oosh.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Gab. Walk us through some of these rods, man.
So first one, which is the surprise, which I've been meaning to tell you guys about, is the new 25 Saltiga J series. Yes. Yeah, because it's a series that's going to be carried on until the second half of the year this year.
Right.
As a result, it's been labelled as a 25 series, even though we're not in the 25 year.
It's a nice looking rod, man.
Yeah, it's a slick rod.
Look at that. Price looks sick. I mean, the price looks good too. So what's the features on this thing?
Okay, so the features, the first main thing is the blank, which is the SPF Nano Plus.
Right.
Second thing is it's also got the 𝓥𝓷𝓳𝓪 X full shield on the blank as well, which just reinforces the blank. It's got Fuji Titanium SRC guides, which just the guides on the rod.
Right.
This also features a new reel seat by Daiwa, which is a zero seat. Right. It's a slick looking reel seat. It's much more ergonomic. It looks aesthetically beautiful as well.
Yeah, right.
So great rod. It's going to be the first time I'm going to be using it. The model I'm going to be using is the 6'4", 2-4.
2-4.
Yeah, which is a 6'4" rod, P 2-4. Balances perfect with my Saltiga 6K.
Fast jigging, right? Fast jigging.
That's great. This is going to be the fast jigging rod that I'm going to be using on the boat.
That looks so good.
Slick looking rod. The thing I love about it also, the colorway as well, once you chuck the reel on, it looks immaculate.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is the real deal. So that's the surprise I was going to tell you guys about.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. So it's a new rod. It got released 2 weeks ago. So the model that I wanted to match up my reel with, that one got sold over the weekend. So unfortunately I can't showcase it here, but I can still show you how the rod looks like.
Yeah, it looks good.
So it's just a model under that.
What's the next one?
Next rod. The almighty Zenaq Fokeeto Ikari.
ISO Fishing Lifestyle Special, the Zenaqs.
That's
Let's
it.
Go.
So we're actually going to be carrying 2 setups for the Ikaris on the boat.
Yeah.
So the first one is, this is a Fokeeto Ikari in the FB 633.
Yeah.
This can be matched up with the 22 Saltiga, this reel.
Right.
We've got another reel which has P1.7 spool onto there already.
Yeah.
That's going to be the setup. So pretty much me and William and yourself and Tim, obviously we'll be rotating through the rods, like, everyone can have a crack, but this will be the main rod that we're going to use. This is a 633 series.
Right.
I've also got a 645 as well, which we'll be using as well, which is the one model up from this. So it's just slightly stronger, which is just going to enable us to use heavier weights.
Okay. How much does this one go for?
$8.99 off the top of my head.
About $900. And that one, the Saltiga, the Saltiga was what?
Saltiga J is $6.99.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow. Top of the range, man.
Top of the range. Only the best. However, we've saved the best till last. So Hardy, run me through the rods that you'll be using for our trip.
I've got the slow element that I purchased for Indonesia, which is slow jigging. Really hard to use for me because the reel I was using was a fast. It was an XG, I think, the 𝓥𝓷𝓳𝓸𝓪.
XG, yep.
So now I can tell what you mean about like the way you jig, because it's such a fast reel. You can actually feel it come up too quick.
That's correct.
So yeah, I actually need to get another rod, man. Anyway, this is really great for great value for money. It's an Australian brand. I mean, I keep on harping on about it. Again, unfortunately, overseas it's more popular than it is in Australia. But these are really good value, under $300.
Yeah, so these are actually one of our best sellers under $300 as well.
Is that right?
Yeah, so for anybody who's on the market for a slow pitch rod, the slow element, it's a great option, great action, super slick design, and also super durable as well.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're not too fussed about, especially with the boat rods, when it comes to the coating and all that, because with the rock fishing rods, that's a main seller for us, like for rock fishing for Team Kingies. But these ones, but still the coating is pretty solid on these rods.
That's correct.
So I am looking at the fast jigging rod to pair it with my 𝓤𝓪𝓳𝓸𝓪. So I've got the Adrenalin. This is P2 or 1.5 to 4.
1.5 to 4. Okay. That's correct.
Because I've got P3 on my 𝓤𝓳𝓸𝓪.
Yep.
So now if I'm using this with my 𝓤𝓳𝓸𝓪, it's just as fast as I can. Is that what?
That's correct. You just pump it up. Yeah. So this actually, so this rod actually fits in with your style of fishing, which is, it's called the Adrenalin. You pump the Adrenalin while you're jigging.
That looks solid, man.
Yeah, it's a solid rod.
Solid.
Yeah. So once we get out there, so with the bigger jigs like that, 180, 200, 250 grams. Right. Yeah, I'll get you a special 800 grams just for you.
I did 800 grams in Indonesia.
Oh, did you?
Oh man, yeah. I died seriously just trying to get it up. That thing just killed me. I don't know how people do it all day. Like guys do like up to a kilo.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Over there because it's really deep and there's a lot of current. But anyway, looking at this rod, I can use this also when I go overseas because it looks like it'll handle GTs easy on this one.
Yeah, look, it's a great option as well for like a lot of your larger demersals as well.
Yeah.
If you ever want to live bait with it as well, you can also double up as a live baiting rod. So if you,
yeah, because it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's a sturdy rod.
It's under $400.
Yep. Once again.
Yeah, an Australian, man, can't go wrong, eh? All right, well that's it with rods. There's a lot more options. If you come over here, you'll see there's heaps of options in the shop, but we're not going to go through all of them. That's probably the main ones that you want to talk about because one, you've got one, and the Zenaq. I think you've got Zenaq ones, right?
Yep. So the Zenaq I've got, the Saltiga. I'm just waiting for my rod to come in.
Yeah. Okay.
He'll be ready for the trip. So hopefully we can show you guys how it performs on our next video.
Okay. All right, Gab. Walk me through the benefits and potentially the disadvantages of slow pitch or fast jigging.
Yeah. So the main benefits of using or guess fishing the slow pitch style fishing, first of all, it's less fatigue on the angler.
Right.
Second of all, is especially when the fish are shut down, it gives anglers a option to sort of keep the lure in the strike zone to sort of entice the fish to get on the bite.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so as opposed to jigging, let's say 5 meters down from the target range and 5 meters up, you can sort of hover the lure just in front of the faces to try and get the bite.
Right.
Second, and also the third thing is, once again, it just helps you keep your lure in the strike zone for longer.
Right, so with the slow jigging, you don't really have to reel, do you? Or can you just let it up and down? Or?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different actions that you can give for slow pitch.
Right.
So the motion that you're referring to is sort of like a one pitch. Okay. So it's essentially just a lift and drop.
That's it?
Yeah. The traditional slow pitch, I guess, method is that you actually just crank with just the reel.
Okay.
And what it does is, the whole reason why it's called slow pitch is because the type of action that the rod gives off is once you hold the rod with tension and then you crank, as the rod loads up and you flicks it, that's all like that pitching motion, where it just flicks the lure up and lets it flutter back down.
Right. And this all depends on the rod, right? So you need to have a slow pitch rod to be able to do slow pitch jigging. It
helps a lot. I'm not saying I'm not saying you can't. However, it'll make the process much easier.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. And then what about the fast pitch, man? Like the fast jigging?
The fast jigging rods, obviously, they've got, generally, I find personally that they're a little bit softer on the tips and they're a little bit stronger on the mid joints.
Right.
That way, when you work the lures quite aggressively, the middle of the rod sort of bounces the lure up.
Okay.
Yeah, whereas if the tip is too stiff for the actual lure, then you'll notice that you get a lot of slack line when you're jigging as well. So it's very important to keep to select the lure, which fits within the jigging range of the actual rod.
Yeah, I prefer the stiff tips.
Yeah.
So I'll be having a slow pitch and a fast pitch rod, just to cover my bases.
Same.
Yeah, you will help. Okay, right. I think that's a good option. All right, Gab, walk us through your full setup, man.
Okay, I'm gonna have 3 setups on board for the day.
And this is what you normally would bring with you?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, normally I'll probably bring 2 setups, 1 lighter, 1 heavier.
Yeah.
In this case, it's gonna be 2 overheads, 1 spin.
Okay.
So first setup, 22 Saltiga 15H.
Right.
That's going to be matched up with a Zenaq Fokeeto Ikari FB645.
Right.
My reel's got PE2.
PE2, right, okay.
That's going to be my first setup.
And then what would be your leader for a PE2? What type of leader are we using?
So on the day, I'll probably be using 40-pound leader.
Okay, all right. Okay.
40-pound. Next setup is same thing, same reel.
Right.
Saltiga 15, another one.
Okay, just in case.
That's correct. Actually, this one, I reckon William's probably going to be using it.
Okay.
This one's going to be matched up with, once again, the Zenaq Fokeeto Ikari.
Okay.
This one's going to be the FB633.
Right, okay.
This is pulled with PE 1.7.
Right.
This will most likely be fished with 30 or 35-pound leader.
And how many meters is that one, guys? 1.7, you have more meters, right?
A little bit, but it's still got close to 600.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't really need more than 600.
Yeah.
Last setup, which is going to be my new rod. First of all, Daiwa 23 Saltiga 6000H.
Right.
That's going to be going on the 25 Saltiga J in the 𝓵𝓴𝓪.
Right.
I've got PE3 spool on here, but I need to get it re-spooled. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to lose all my
What
fish.
you got about there? Is it about 180 meters or something?
Probably thereabouts.
100?
Yeah, if I have 1 shit drop, then I'll probably lose all my life.
Nagged.
Exactly.
All right, that's it. That's your setup, man.
Yep.
That covers it off. Well, for me,
Yeah, actually, your setup.
Probably going to use one of your reels, because I might bring my cert tape.
Yeah, I'll get you Jarvis Walker for you.
There's nothing wrong with Jarvis.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'll probably bring my cert tape also, and I'll bring 2 rods.
Yep.
The slow pitch and the fast pitching rods, just in case. All right. I guess the fun part of this topic of boat jigging,
Yep.
and it's the actual jigs itself.
That's
I know
correct.
there's different types, so I'll get you to just explain the main ones. We don't have to go through every single one because there's too many.
Mm-hmm.
What's popular at the moment, and what should everyone be using right now?
I'll say at the moment, because we're in the middle of winter at the moment, a lot of people who are jigging offshore, especially for their kings, which will be our main target for the next video, most people will be using slow jigs.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not saying that the fast jigs or like the normal knife jigs won't work. It's just that during winter time, a lot of times the fish are a bit more shut down. They're a bit more shyer. They're not as active.
Yeah.
They normally hug more closer towards the bottom.
Right.
As a result, more anglers normally tend to see more towards slow jigs.
So explain the difference between the slower and the faster jigs. Like, what is different shape, I'm assuming, and
Yeah, so different types of shapes. Generally, you'll find that the slow jigs, such as the one that you have in your hand at the moment, they're a bit chunkier, they're a little bit wider. They're normally designed in more of like, I guess, like a leaf type of shape, which also helps them sink slower as well, and it has a really nice flutter on the drop.
Yeah.
With a lot of these jigs, you'll find that they're either center balanced or rebalanced, which also affects the action and also affects the drop rate as well.
Okay.
So with a lot of the lures which are, let's say, center balanced, they've got a more nicer, even fluttering fall on the drop, like a leaf. Whereas the lures which are reweighted, normally they've got more of like an irregular drop. They normally sort of like zigzag down as well. A lot of them, they tend to sink a little bit faster as well, but they're still classified as a slow jig.
That's interesting, because when I was recently in Queensland, all they use is slow jigs.
Slow jigs, just like the leaf bands.
Like really thick. The fatter they are, the rounder they are, the better.
The better, because
because they're in shallow water, right? And it's the reefs and all that.
Yeah.
So they don't really need to get too deep, and they want to get as much action out of that one drop.
Yeah, one drop as they can. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a fact. But just on the topic of that as well, like I said, it doesn't mean that you won't catch fish on the knife jigs.
Right.
And what we're finding now is a lot of the brands, they're sort of making jigs which are a bit more versatile in like a motion that the jigs now, even though they look like knife jigs, they have a slower fall, or they've got more of a sliding action, such as the one in your hand, which is a CB1 G2, which is Captain Tim's favorite.
Captain Tim.
Yeah, so if you ask Tim what's his favorite jig, I can quite safely say that the CB1 G2 is the most popular for him. He's had good luck on there as well.
And how heavy do you go? What's generally the rule when it comes to the weight?
When the weight depends on first of all, it depends on the depth and the current in which you're fishing as well. Another important factor is the actual line that you're fishing as well. Generally, the heavier PE line you're fishing, you want to get heavy on the jigs, because when you drop your jigs with thicker lines, they've got more resistance, which means that they're going to drift more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's the general rule? Like, let's say in the 20-meter depth water.
Yep.
You know, you got sort of medium current. What do you use? What weight would you use?
So let's say if you're fishing, 20 meters with moderate current, I personally will be using around maybe 60 to around 100 grams. 100? Yeah. Okay. It just depends on, like I said, once again, the current as well. If you're fishing really light lines, you can get the jig down quite safely, even in a little bit of current, in 60 to 80 grams. However, what we normally find is for people who fish in a group of boats, generally we do recommend anglers to fish a little bit heavier. That way you won't tangle others, drops. That's correct.
So for example, in Sydney water, you can get up to what, 200 meters? You get up like 12 mile or Browns and all that. How many meters is that?
If you go Browns, you'll probably be nearing more towards like 300-400. Yeah, some areas get really deep as well. By that stage, there are a handful of guys who still jig off those depths. However, you'll find that a lot of people, then that's when they transition into the smaller electric reels, such as like the Daiwa, like the 𝓷𝓃𝓲𝓪 and the 𝓔𝓷𝓃𝓀. Yeah, like the 400-500 sizes.
Okay. So what are we going to be fishing in? Like, do you know what kind of depth we're fishing?
My guess will be anywhere between 80 to 120, 130.
Okay. So how heavy do we go?
Jig sizes probably minimum 150.
150.
Minimum, yeah.
So Gab will be bringing his arsenal of jigs, and I'll just be using him and losing him.
That's correct. and I'll be charging Hardy.
Double. He'll charge me double.
Yeah, supply and demand. I'll be charging him on the boat.
That's with tax.
Yeah, we just have to afterpay as well.
All right, man. I think we've covered everything. So, like, in terms of just the overall, what's your message when it comes to boat jigging? Just to sort of sum it up.
Look, the first thing is, look, you don't have to get an expensive setup. If you want to start off jigging, like I said, most people, they've got a spinning reel somewhere in their collection. Grab the spinning reel of a suitable size to where you want to fish. You can always grab a rod within a decent price point as well, such as like Ocean's Legacy.
Yes.
Perfect.
You'll get one for what, under 300, 200?
Under 300 easily. They're like $279. So they come in a lot of different sizes. So whether you've got a 4,000 reel or 6,000 reel, there's an Ocean's Legacy rod to suit your needs as well. There are also a lot of other rods on the market as well that you can find, which aren't the $1,000 mark. You don't have to spend $2,000 to get out jigging. You can get away with 300.
But you just got to spend more for the boat.
Correct. Well, yeah, essentially, yes.
all right. And like in terms of jigs, get a few colors, get a few different weights, and then that's it. You're ready to go.
That's correct. Yeah, just select the suitable, obviously the suitable weights for your setup as well, and also how deep you're fishing. As you can see, like the jigs that we have on display at the moment, a lot of them, the CB ones, the Palms Jigaro, and also the Nature Boys jigs as well. They do come in different sizes, different shapes, different weights. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to contact us or hit up Hardy. He'll be more than happy to answer all your questions.
Got no clue.
Yeah, because he's your expert. Otherwise, feel free to come in the store, speak to one of our staff members as well. We're more than happy to help with anything that you need help with.
All right, just quickly.
Oh, what's this? This wasn't part of the script. Where'd you get this from?
I'm gonna get new gloves for jigging, or just fishing in general. You've got two options, Daiwa or Daiwa. Anwar, which one do you prefer, man? Will, what do you reckon? Which color?
Blue offshore.
Blue. All right, blue it is. I need a new glove. My other one's been thrashed. I think that's it, guys. I've been going to ISO fishing since it was in 𝓐𝓫𝓾, and these boys were like in primary school, I think, at that time. I'm pretty sure
so.
It was high school.
You probably early high school for myself. I think William was in primary school.
He was in Kingies.
Kingies, yeah.
No, so actually Anwar was your regular.
He was.
I came in every now and then, and I've dealt with you guys, and saw you guys grow up, and the amount of knowledge they've built in terms of this type of fishing, right? Shore jigging and high-end Japanese equipment. And this is why I personally highly recommend it. All the boys come here. We get top-notch service. These guys know exactly what they're doing. They know what's the most popular or what's new in the scene, especially overseas, because in overseas they tend to do a lot of the new techniques a lot earlier than Australia.
That's correct, yeah. So they obviously love the techniques. I'm not saying all of them, but there are a lot of techniques which originate overseas. So whether that be, you know, in the Asian countries or Europe or America, etc.
Yeah.
And we find that our market, it takes a while for all of the anglers here to actually accept it and sort of adopt that style of fishing.
Yeah.
However, obviously, like myself and yourself as well, we're always open to new styles of fishing. And I think that's something that is also something more enjoyable. You know, it gives us something new to do as well.
It's an advantage too, man. I think
that's
being
correct.
at the forefront. So guys, if you guys are looking for, you know, top end equipment and top end technique and new techniques, come into the store. There's 2 stores. There's one in where are we at the moment?
𝓵𝓪𝓃.
And one in Eastwood, which is my local.
Yeah, which is Jay's favorite as well.
Jay's
Yeah, you guys can meet Jay there.
Yeah, come visit us. Come visit these guys, us and
Hardy as well.
And Hardy. If I'm here, I'm here quite a bit. And if not, just go to the website and you can purchase off there. But again, highly recommended. Come in store and speak to one of the guys. Thanks, Gab.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Hardy.